I do really believe 100% from every part of me that everyone has the capacity to be able to do the things that they want and not to be held back by the mental baggage that's in our head that we want to push through.
Welcome to the Do the Thing podcast. In each episode, we get down and personal with people who go after the things they want to make all their wildest dreams come true. Join us as we unveil and dissect a formula for what it takes to do the thing. Here is your host, Stacey Lauren.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Do the Thing podcast. This is Stacey Lauren. Some people you meet stand out because of their unrelenting energy, amazing personality, and contagious smile. Today's guest is probably the most upbeat, funny, and positive person you'll ever find. Her clients call her the Queen of Smiles, a title she more than deserves. Have you ever heard of a dentist going to a club with flyers to promote their business? This guest did just that. Instead of merely opening a dental practice and waiting for clients to come to her, she headed out to the hottest dance clubs and music venues to find them on her own. And flyers with her face on them gave her a competitive edge. She got her first celebrity client with just a cold walk-up. I love how she took an unconventional, super scrappy approach to land celebrity clients, something that would intimidate so many others. But as she says, everyone needs a dentist, even celebrities. She's an award-winning cosmetic dentist. Her clients include some of the biggest names in film and music, and her accolades are nothing short of impressive. Global Summit Institute voted her as one of the world's top 100 doctors. Dental Products Report magazine named her among the top 25 women in dentistry, and Clear lists her as one of the most influential dentists in America. You can even catch her making appearances on the Dr. Oz show and the Today Show. If that weren't enough, this guest is also a #1 best-selling author, actor, podcaster, international professional speaker, and branding coach. Not only is she the dentist to the stars and non-celebrities too, but she also creates entrepreneurs by teaching them how to start a teeth whitening business. It puts a huge smile on my face to introduce Dr. Catrise Austin. Hi, Dr. Catrise. How are you today?
I'm great, Stacey. How you feeling?
I am doing really good. I'm so glad you were able to join me.
Oh, I had to join you on this podcast. You're doing such wonderful things. I had to be a part of it.
Yay. Well, that's exciting. Well, how about we start off, and if you don't mind just kind of sharing more about you, your story, and what you're up to.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Catrise Austin, cosmetic dentist to the stars, branding coach, speaker, 8-time author, and brand spokesperson. And my story really starts back when I was a young child in elementary school. I hated my smile. My teeth were spaced out, they flared out, and I got called names every single day in the schoolyard. They'd be like, there's Bugs Bunny. And gosh, those names being called every day, just made me feel so insecure to the point where I didn't smile. And I kind of became an introvert. All throughout my middle school years, I didn't feel comfortable being around other kids. And I did the bare minimum of socializing just to get by. But when I got to high school, that pivotal time in your life when you want to be one of the cool kids and you want to fit in, I had like the breaking point. My mom knew that I always hated my smile, and her being a single parent, I kind of didn't feel like she could afford to get the braces that I knew I needed to correct my smile. So I never asked. But when I got to high school, maybe around the age of 15, she surprised me with a dental visit that changed my life. I mean, she took me to what I thought was going to be a routine checkup and cleaning visit, but it turned out to be the braces, the orthodontic appointment that I had just been desiring all my life. And I discovered that I was just going to have to wear braces for 1 year to correct my smile. And so I got the traditional braces, wore them for a year. And by the time I was in my mid 16th year. The braces came off. And when I tell you the confidence level, the joy that I felt, it was literally a life-changing experience to the point where I got my first boyfriend. I had the confidence to join the dance squad. I just felt like Miss America. And I knew at that point, at the age of 16, that I wanted to be a dentist, and I had to help other people experience the power a smile. I had no clue that people really paid attention to your smile, and it's one of the first things that people notice about you. And that's when I knew I wanted to be a dentist, and that's where my journey began. So I'm from Flint, Michigan, and I went to University of Michigan, and then went to dental school in Baltimore, University of Maryland. And then after I graduated and got my degree, I moved to the big city of New York, where I have been for the last 25 years. And I have made a great brand as a dentist, as a cosmetic dentist.
Yeah, it's amazing. I know we just got introduced, and right before the interview, I know you had sent me over your website and your information, and I was just like just in shock and awe of just how unbelievable the branding and how everything looks, in terms of everyone that you've been able to help.
Yes. Now, I'm known for working with celebrities, but honestly, I enjoy helping the everyday hardworking person that just wants to go through life with a smile, just a regular, hardworking, everyday person. Celebrities are great, but I love helping anyone that needs to get through life with a beautiful, confident smile.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, because that really can connect to so many people, in terms of you really can help anyone that just wants to improve their smile. The thing that I find so fascinating is that with your experience with your teeth, it not only helped you kind of have this compelling vision of what you wanted to do for your life, but you also had to build up some kind of muscle, right? In terms of having all of that pain from childhood and being able to persevere.
Yes. And even throughout the course of my years after I got the braces, the one thing that a lot of orthodontists don't tell you is that if you do not wear that retainer, your teeth can spread back to where they came from. And so, I'm just like everybody else. I'm sometimes a bad patient. And there were times during my career that I stopped wearing my retainer, and my teeth actually went back, not all the way to where they started when I was younger, but I had some relapses, and I kind of periodically went through that same emotion of not feeling confident. And now with social media, people they feel like they have the right to comment on your appearance. And if there's anything that's imperfect about you, they feel like they can say something. And I started getting comments on social media. So I ended up taking care of my teeth again and getting them permanently closed with the veneers that I actually offered to my clients. And that was life-changing as well.
Yeah. So when you went and got your doctor's degree to become a dentist, did you immediately decide that you wanted to open up your own business, or did you work for someone for a little bit?
That is such a great question. When I finished my degree and came to New York City, I literally never, ever, ever envisioned that I would start a business in New York City. I was literally just coming to get some extra experience by working in the hospital and doing my residency training. But that 1 year in 1996 to 1997, my first year being in New York City, and gosh, it was the 90s, and music was great, and comedy was great, and the city was just full of energy. I got the New York bug, and I started networking and hitting the streets of New York and meeting people. And it was some of the people that I met, like some of the comedians that I used to hang out with. They were like, gosh, you can stay here. There's no dentists that look like you. You're young, you're black, you're female. Like there is no, and you're cool. There's nobody like we don't know a dentist that's like you. So why don't you stay and start your business here? And I thought about that, and I did have the competitive edge. I didn't have any money, but I was like, gosh, if I can find a way to start a business, I want to start it in New York City, where I love the city, and was meeting so many cool people, it wasn't hard for me to decide to stay. So what I did is I actually went to the newspaper, because that's how you found a job back then. And I answered a couple ads and I took some jobs. A few of the jobs were crazy, Stacey. Like I went into one job one day and the doctor said, this is the one needle that you have to use on all of your patients for the day. We don't have any other needles. Take a toothbrush and scrub it off, with some soap and reuse it. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. And so I kind of, after taking a few jobs, discovered that I didn't like the way dentistry, it wasn't my vision of how a dental practice was to be run. And so after going to a couple bad dental jobs, I decided I got to do it my way. I've got to do dentistry my way where I know it's safe and I get to kind of incorporate my style and my personality. And I actually found a dentist. I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't want to take out a lot of loans. So what I did is I looked for a dentist that was looking to share his office space and rented a chair out of someone else's office until I built up my clientele and I could start my own practice. And that's how I got started.
Wow. So it stemmed really from a bad experience, and you were able to really trust that the person you were working for was going to kind of have your same level of integrity and quality. And then you're like, well, I could do this better. Or if he could do this, I could do it better, kind of thing.
Exactly. Didn't know how, but I've learned the way.
Yeah. Would you say that gave you the confidence to do it when you saw someone run their business that way? Did that give you more confidence to think that you could do it?
Yeah, I knew that like you said, I knew that I could do better. I didn't quite know how. The dentist that I rented space from, he was an older dentist. And so he wasn't the best example of how to run a newer style dental practice. But he had 35 years of business experience. So I got some knowledge from him. But what I ultimately did, Stacey, is I found a dental consultant that I could afford at the time just to teach me how. I would read the dental journals and I'd always read the articles about business and overhead and all the things that you needed to think about. So I just found a consultant that could kind of show me the ropes. And that's when I really learned how to operate a business and develop systems. And my business literally just took right off once I had some concept of how to really run a business. It's dentistry and it's health, but it is, if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own practice, it's 100% business. And once I learned how to run the business, oh baby, there was no stopping me, Stacey.
Yeah. And it's great because I've had that piece of the formula many times now as people hiring like a coach or consultant. But honestly, I don't even know if I would have thought of that in relation to dentistry. So it's amazing when I think about this formula that's coming out of these interviews and the fact that you doing something totally different than anyone I've talked to yet is doing. And then you hired a consultant. I mean, there's definitely something to that.
Yeah, I think that in business, you got to have coaches. You got to have somebody that's been there and done it and can advise you on, how to take things to the next level. So we need coaches, trainers. The best of the best trainers and coaches need coaches. So yes, always learning, and it doesn't matter what field you're in.
Yeah. So it sounds like, so I'm uncovering your formula as you're talking for doing the thing. So one thing it looks like is really just building up that network of people, which you talked about comedians and things like that. And that sort of gave you the encouragement to be able to do this. So that was one piece.
That was discovering my target audience. I knew right away that I wanted to work with, that this wasn't a word back then, but influencers and entertainers. And once I had that niche in my head, it made it very easy to determine where I was going to go to network and what events I was going to attend and, who to cold call and what events to go to in the city. So it just really laid out the master plan of how I was going to get to where I wanted to be.
Yeah. So how did you, and I want to go back to the formula, but I want to stay here for just a minute because how did you Gosh, is that like when you started doing the celebrities and things like that? How did that come about? Because I feel like that's some really big courage, right? To be able to have that level of confidence.
Yeah, the confidence came from, I knew no one when I came to New York. Maybe a couple people that I went to college with, but nobody that I could really count on. So my escape was to go to the comedy club every Sunday in the village of New York. And as I would go, I would start to meet comedians, and they literally became my friendship base. And then comedians kind of open up for music acts before they perform. And so just kind of hanging out with some of my comedian friends, I got that aha moment that was the audience that I wanted to tackle, because that's who I was hanging around with, ironically. And once I determined that I wanted to work with entertainers, and I knew that I didn't have very, very much competition, then I literally started kind of going to all the hot spots with my flyers, and kind of like a guerrilla marketing tactics, just going everywhere, passing out flyers with my face and my picture. And I literally put on my business card, Stacey, before I had my first celebrity client, Dr. Catrise Austin, dentist to the stars. So even though I hadn't landed my first celebrity client, I was kind of putting it out there like the law of attraction. And so one day I was hanging out at P. Diddy's restaurant. He had a restaurant in New York City in the 90s. Every Tuesday I go to Justin's, that was P. Diddy's restaurant, and all the celebrities would be there. The Mariah Careys, the Derek Jeters, and all kinds of models. And it was just the hot spot. And one day I'm there and I see this musical legend by the name of Isaac Hayes. My mom used to play his records all the time. And he was on the cartoon South Park, adult cartoon. So he was very popular. And I was like, gosh, I would love to meet him. I'm so scared. He's a musical legend. And after about an hour of deliberating, I finally got the courage to just go over there and just say, you know what, screw it. I'm going over there to say who I am and what I do. Hey, everybody needs a dentist, right? And so I walk over there and I give him basically my elevator pitch. Hey, I'm Dr. Catrise Austin. I'm a dentist here in New York City. If you ever need a dentist, if you're not happy with the one that you're using or you don't have one, I would love to be your new dentist. Here's my card. And he literally looked at my card. He looked at me. And he said in his deep voice, young lady, I ain't never met a dentist that looked like you. Would you like to sit down and have dinner with me? And that was the decision that completely changed my life. By the time I got done having dinner with him, he had decided that he was going to be my first celebrity client. And having him as my first celebrity client put me on the map. And that was all I needed to solidify my Dentist to the Stars branding back in 1998.
I just love that so much because you were scrappy. You're passing out flyers. You're going up. So I want to go back to the flyers in a minute, but when you went up to him, how did you get yourself to do that? Were you like,
oh gosh, I was scared. I was so scared, but I will tell you the thing that came to my mind is, I don't know if I'm ever going to see this man again. Not only was he a legend in TV and radio, music, he was on the air on one of the hottest radio stations in New York City. So I also knew that he had that platform. And what ended up happening, not only did he become my celebrity client, my first celebrity client, he talked about me for free on air as a morning show host. Not only did he do that, he said, you know what? I'm going to put you in my entourage. Wherever I go, you're going to go. So I'm talking Grammys, film festivals in Mexico, everywhere. And that literally gave me the exposure that I needed. And it was important for me to have flyers with my picture on it and that content, because I was doing the same kind of marketing that I saw my music clients doing. They would hit the streets and they had bands and flyers. So I was like, well, can I do that as a dentist? I can have flyers. If I have my picture on it and people see that I'm a dentist and I'm female and African American, that's going to be intriguing to them. That's the competitive edge. And so that's what I did. So with the help of Mr. Isaac Hayes and hitting the streets with some guerrilla marketing, it all came together.
Yeah. And it's funny because I feel like there's so many people that are hesitant to do that, whether it's going up to someone or even passing out flyers, right? Like, so how did you even just make that decision? Because that's doing the thing, is being able to just put yourself out there, right? Because you're putting your literal like face out there, you know?
Yeah. You know what? At the end of the day, I just said to myself, I may never see this person again. And how would I feel if I didn't go up to him and simply introduce myself and tell him who I was and what I did? Like, what's the worst that can happen is I get a no, or I'm happy with my dentist, but nice meeting you. I could not bear knowing that I could have ruined the opportunity of a lifetime. And it literally turned into the opportunity that changed my entire career. And so I am very thankful that somehow deep down I got the guts to do it. And that is the lesson. Like, no matter who you encounter, it could be the president of the United States to whoever, you know, people are people. And when it comes to your product and your service, they may very well need it. You may be solving a problem that they have that you don't know about. So that's what made me go over there. And thank God it did.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Like your risk assessment really is what's the worst that's going to happen.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that. And then is that the same thing you did with the flyers? Because that's putting yourself out there too. Just, you know, passing out those flyers.
Yeah. I thought it was fun to me because I actually love letting people know that I was a dentist. And literally I could be in one of the hottest nightclubs on the dance floor dancing, and Mariah Carey could be right next to me, and I just hand her the flyer. Like, and I love getting people's reaction. Like, you're a dentist? Because I knew that I was unique. I knew that I was special. So that was fun. I like that.
Because you're making it fun.
Yeah.
I love it. So how did you making it fun is actually another piece of the formula, but I haven't had that many people speak to it yet, because that's something that I always did with doing the thing. So I like that this came up. How do you think you were able to, was it just an automatic thing where you made it fun, or was it a reframing, or where did that come from?
I also decided after going to various dental practices that I was going to be my most authentic self. And quite frankly, meeting some of the celebrities, I had to go to dance clubs and places that you at the time would never see a dentist. And so I had to go to dance clubs. I had to go to music concerts, and I had to be at all these fun places. And when they met me, I wanted them to know that I was just a regular person. I like music. I dance. All the things you see doctors kind of doing now on TikTok. That was unheard of in the 90s, to put yourself out there. As a matter of fact, in the dental and medical world, it was marketing yourself was kind of shunned upon. You could actually get penalized, your license penalized for marketing and promoting. So for me to make it fun and to do flyers and to kind of mimic what I saw my entertainment friends doing, it was totally fun. And so every day when I go to work, it doesn't feel like a job. I don't dread going because I play music, I dance, we watch YouTube, watch movies. And I was doing that from the very beginning. Before Netflix, I had VHS tapes that they chose when they came to the office, so they knew that they could watch their favorite movie or sitcom. So that was just a part of my branding, that it had to be fun.
Yeah, I love it. So it seems like you also have innovation as part of your doing the thing.
Yeah, I didn't know like playing VHS tapes in the office was so going to be that unique, but it turned out to be. But yeah, for some reason, I have the ability to come up with creative ideas that are intriguing. So I appreciate that skill set.
Yeah. And what do you think When you do come up with the creative ideas, where do you think that comes from?
I would probably have to say that it's just very innate. Maybe how artists, how does an artist come up with their next painting, or where does somebody, and gosh, I can't even say. I do read and listen to audiobooks. So sometimes I'm inspired by other people's stories and how their story might apply to my business. But other than that, sometimes I just wake up and I just get an idea.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're consuming information and learning, and then,
definitely
you're able to then integrate it into your own kind of like unique flair, basically.
Yeah. Yes. That's a great summary.
Yeah, I love it. And I noticed that from your website too. And I didn't think about it until right now, because you're not just you're doing something totally different between you're helping regular people, you're helping celebrities, but then you also do like a certification
for teeth whitening. So I'm starting young entrepreneurs all across the country, teaching them the business of teeth whitening, which is not just limited to people in the dental field. So that's been super exciting, and to watch other young people, old people, whoever, just start their businesses. I love it. Helping people become financially independent and free by being entrepreneurs.
Wow. So that's like really significant. So so that's what it is. Because again, I just looked at it briefly, because we literally, like, just so everyone knows, we literally, is it okay to carry
this morning?
Like not this morning. I'm like, I'd love to talk to you. Can you do this tonight? You sent me your info, and then here we are. So it's
we are.
It's doing the thing as we're doing this podcast. And so, so I looked at it and I was like, wow, that's so unique and cool. And I've never seen that on a dentist, doctor, any kind of website before, that different thing. But that sounds like that's a whole nother like.
Oh, it's a whole nother business. Yeah. I have three businesses: the dental practice, treating people with their teeth. And then I have the teeth whitening business, training them, and also selling products, the teeth whitening products and oral care products, and then coaching entrepreneurs to build their brand to a celebrity brand. So 3 whole companies and no sleep ever. But it's so much fun.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's great. I'm excited, because I just feel like after talking to you, I'm like, gosh, you're going to be able to help so many people.
Yes.
Things.
I am excited about it. So you'll find me not in the office doing veneers and teeth whitening on a daily basis. I still do that, but I'm branching out and getting more into the teeth whitening and coaching side of my business as I enter Act 2 of my career. I don't want to be 90 years old in the office drilling on teeth. So we're expanding our business, which gets me out to help more people globally, not just in New York City.
Yeah, I love that. So what do you think has been just the hardest thing for you in regarding to doing the thing?
The hardest thing would be, because there's so many hard things. Doing the thing requires help. I will say that. And sometimes, as you can see, that I am a very motivated person. I have a lot of drive and energy, and I'm creative. And so to find staff members or team members that match that energy and that passion for what I do has been a little bit challenging. And finding the team of advisors even to help me run my business and make sure I'm staying on track and meeting goals, that's been a little bit challenging too. So if I were going back and talking to my 28-year-old self as to what I would do different, I would vet my advisors and I would vet my staff members way, way more than I did in the past, to make sure that I have a team that has the same core values that I have in this journey that I'm on. And if those things don't match, then you're kind of doomed.
I totally agree, because the best way to get leverage, is really to hire the right people that are at your same level in terms of that. So I think that's a really good point. So sorry, let's go back to the new business. Well, is it new? The one where you're helping the teeth whitening?
The teeth whitening. I started it during the pandemic. I had been wanting to, and it gave me the time to create the course and do all the videos and write the book. And so, it's since 2018. So not that new, but I feel like it's now that we are back outside and getting back to normal business, I feel like I have a lot of people reaching out, from college students to people who just want to, spend a little less time in a 9-to-5 office setting, that they're signing up to learn a new skill with teeth whitening, which is an $11.4 billion industry. People want whiter teeth. So I love it. I love teaching and training people to start their businesses.
Have you seen a commonality with other people on them doing the thing, which is like starting this business?
This particular business that I'm starting?
Yeah, just in general. Have you seen something that maybe stood out with that they have in common, like the people that you've helped to start a business?
That they hated the 9-to-5 traditional work pattern. And I think the pandemic really opened up the eyes of a lot of people that there's another way to make money. It doesn't have to be traditional 9-to-5 that we all knew. So I think they all got the aha moment that they don't have to be stuck in a position that they're not happy with. And teeth whitening is like a low overhead, high profit business there's nothing too stressful that can happen with you doing the procedures. So it's a great business for someone that wants an easier life, but want to make some money.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you're doing that. That's so awesome.
Thank you.
What would you think would be, if you could give one piece of advice to our listeners on doing the thing, what would it be?
Just do the thing. Just do the damn thing. If you have an idea, you have a dream, you have a passion, don't let anyone discourage you. If it's burning in your heart and you have something that you really want to accomplish in life, just do it. I've had people in my family, my mother's sister told me back in 1998 that I would never become a celebrity dentist, that my dreams were crazy. Like, who does that? You should just, crawl before you start walking or running. You need to start and do the traditional thing, and you don't have to do what's considered traditional. You can make your own path and do things your way and do the darn thing however you desire, and just know that you can achieve it. You can do anything that you put your mind to it. You have a wonderful resource with the internet, where all the answers, and YouTube and Google, the answers are there. You don't have to have a lot of money to learn the content that you need to take you where you want to go. So just do it.
Yeah, that's so good. Do the darn thing.
Do the darn thing. Just do it.
It's so good. So you mentioned earlier that you also have that branding experience. How is that something that you can help with?
Oh, great. Thank you so much for asking about that. I'm currently on a whole speaking tour where I'm sharing the 5 strategies for people to get noticed and to create the same celebrity brand that I have over the last 25 years. You can reach me at www.drcatriceaustin.com, where I have, $7 monthly coaching videos and training and live seminars. I just wrote a book that went #1 a couple of weeks ago, the 5 strategies to get your business noticed book. So if you want to just learn, my 8th book, I can't even believe it. But this one is really, really special to me because a lot of people ask me, how did you build this brand? Well, this is the ultimate pick my brain. I'll tell you everything that I did over the last 25 years to build my brand. And then for those who are really serious and they really want to get on TV and work with the biggest brands in the land, I have some training, high level training that can kind of you get to skip a couple steps. I really hold your hand and take you to the mountaintop. So just go to drcatriceaustin.com and you will be able to learn all the things that I have to help you. I want to build as many rock stars, no matter what industry you're in. I want to make sure that you are the best or perceived as the best there is in your field.
I'm so glad that you were able to take the time to do this today.
Oh, anything, we have a mutual friend, Sandy, Missouri. So when she introduced me to you, you're just like family, just like she is. So nice to work with you.
That's so great. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye, Stacey.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Do the Thing podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, but even more, we hope you'll be inspired to do the thing. Do you have a burning question on doing the thing that you'd like answered? How about an inspiring do the thing story of your own that you'd like to share? We'd love to hear all about it. Just leave us a voice message at dothething.callcast.co or email us at hello@dothethingpodcast.com.